Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I am at the garden center today. It is the end of September, and I'm going to take you for a walk through the garden so you can see what is still currently blooming and what is starting to transition into its fall color. So we are located in Zeeland, Michigan. We are a zone 5-6 garden. So the plants that you're seeing here are what either do well here in the summer or overwinter through the winter time, if it's a perennial or a shrub. And you know, if you like these garden tours, I would invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you will be notified of all the different garden tours that we put up. So let's go for a walk through the garden and see what's blooming here late September. So we'll have about 5 or 6 different gardens that we're going to walk through. So enjoy the walk as we tour through the grounds here at Garden Crossings. Where we're starting off here, this is our parking lot garden. So obviously it is getting a lot of heat from the parking lot. It's south facing, and the annuals are doing fabulous still in this location. So we were fertilizing these probably about once a month here in the ground, and they're still holding on really fabulous. So in front of us here, Kufia Vermillionaire, a little bit of flowers yet. That is a hummingbird dream. Behind it is the Alstroemeria Inca Ice, and that's just one of those gotta have it plants because it blooms from early season until the fall, and it just doesn't ever stop. So it's great for cut flowers, or if you just like something constantly blooming in the garden, that is one of those plants. The green you're seeing, that is Green with Envy. That is a sweet potato vine that we planted in the ground, and that's just kind of mingling nicely through some Monarda that are finished flowering. The beautiful bicolor blooms in the back, that is Lantana. I believe that is Berry Blend. And that is just, oh, there's hummingbird. He just came through the picture. That is another plant that the hummingbirds absolutely love. We have a mass grouping here of Vista Bubblegum, Supertunia, and Vista Paradise. The Paradise obviously is starting to peter out, but that bubblegum is still just holding on super strong. We got the Mojave Portulaca or moss roses down there, the orange. Those look really pretty up against that pink of the bubblegum. In the back there is the Wicked Witch Coleus. It's got a great contrast of color. Next to it, the kind of reddish pink you're seeing, that's the Alstroemeria Inca Jolie. Lining the parking lot here, we tried some Trenia, and this is the pink Trenia. Typically this is a shade plant, but this has really done fine here in this full sun, hot full sun garden. So if you have always been kind of steering clear of Trenia because you have sun, this goes to show that it can do fine in the sun. Next to this is some Zinnias, great for the butterflies. We have a lot of monarch butterflies that fly around here, in part due to our butterfly house, but also because, I mean, this is just a dream for butterflies and pollinators as well as hummingbirds. We've got Salvia unplugged. Along the front there is Lobellaria White Knight. Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo is the purple. Some Golden Dreams Coleus. Then we've got our aqua pot here, the beautiful canna in the middle. And then it's got the Truffula Pink. And then some, I think it's Blue Moon Super Bells. And then some Licorice Vine. We've got some Paint the Town Dianthus up front there. Those have been kind of just blooming all summer long. I believe that is Paint the Town Fancy, the color you're seeing. We trimmed back our wee white hydrangea, and it is reblooming again. And you can see, I mean, this is a full coverage of blooms. So don't be afraid to trim your plants mid-season, because oftentimes they're going to reward you with blooms later on in the season. Now that I just said that, some shrubs you want to be careful of because you want to make for sure if they bloom off a new growth or old growth. If the shrubs bloom on new growth, then they're okay to trim. We've got some gold dust, that's the yellow lining. That's, I think, a very underused annual, but makes a great border. Just a nice mound of just beautiful yellow. We've got the Pugster blue butterfly bush there, tucked in behind another Kufia Vermillionaire. Another Pugster blue. Got some caladiums. They're kind of starting to fizzle out, but great foliage color. This aqua pot here has a palm tree, a canna, and then a couple different Coleuses, Super Bell Mini Vista White, And then the Wandering Jew is in there for foliage color. Another Golden Dreams Coleus, Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo, and more Salvia. Another Lobularia. This one here is Snow Princess. Zinnias. We've got some opening act phlox that we trimmed back earlier this summer, and it's now reblooming. I believe this one is opening act blush. In the back there is Yellow My Darling Coneflower and a Nymphophia. We've got some more of the Portulaca Mojave Pink next to Supertunia Bubblegum, Vista Bubblegum. And behind the Vista Bubblegum, there is a little Pugster, now pinker. Got the beautiful Atlas Rose, the peach color, and that's one that we kind of keep trimming to promote more growth on. We've got Pink Dawn, Salvia, I believe. Got a tiny little specimen here of, I believe this is the Limelight Prime. So obviously this was just planted from a gallon container, but even so, look at all those flowers. Another Lantana, and that beautiful mass of color you're seeing, that's the new perennial, the new annual for 2022. That's the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry. I love that color of Jazzberry. I mean, look at it against the white. It's so vibrant. And then even planted there with Lantana, they really complement each other nicely. So if you're in love with the Vista series of Supertunias, certainly this new addition, this new color is going to really just broaden the opportunities of what you can do with the Vista Supertunias. The Vista Supertunias are great in the ground. As you can see here, they produce a massive color. You don't have to deadhead them, so they're self-cleaning, and they just constantly go all season long. One thing I do want to point out is it is good to fertilize them. Keeping them fertilized keeps them looking fabulous, so don't be afraid to fertilize, and fertilize often. Next, we're going to head out to the Waterfall Garden, and we're going to start off here on the very end and work our way around. We'll see how the sun does for us here. It's pretty bright, but it's gorgeous today. So on the end here, this is an Ikea Little Henry, and in the spring this gets beautiful white bottle brush blooms, and now it's starting to take on its fall color. So Ikea is a great shrub for fall because it gets really vibrant, kind of red, sort of like a burning bush. Really great foliage for fall. So if you've never considered Ikea before, check it out. It's one of those versatile plants that can handle some shade as well as full sun. Got the Surefire Pink Begonias, the double up white begonias. Along the front there are the Blew My Mind. We've got some of the Golden Butterfly. In the background is the Firelight Hydrangea. Now that is past its prime, but it still looks fabulous, even though the flowers are kind of going from their bright pink shades down to now kind of that crunchy brown look. But Firelight is a great, great plant. Moving along, we have some pink Pentas, along with some Daisy May Leucanthemum. The Daisy May was trimmed back, and now it's given us another bloom cycle. We've got the Baptesia, which just kind of looks like a shrub, but that's actually a perennial that blooms in the spring. We've got some of the Suncredible sunflowers, and I say some, this whole island is full of Suncredible. That's just one of those plants that you can't have too many of. We've got a Dahlia there, and then another Penta. Following the back here, Suncredible, and the little splashes of pink you're seeing, that's more of the Pentas. Fine Line Rhamnus, that's the tall shrub next to the pergola. That's a great plant for columnar, narrow, like it's very narrow and columnar. So great to do like on entries, or as you can see here, we have one on either side of the pergola. In the corner there, we've got more Pentas, more Golden Butterfly, and a little Cleome, Senorita. Some White Sun Patience. I'm going to actually take you to the back side of the waterfall. Usually we see it from the front, The back side here is lined with the purple sun patience and the sun-credible sunflowers. And as we take a look up and over, it's just a gorgeous view from the top. I'll describe the plants when we get around to the front, so hold tight and we'll be there shortly. But I wanted to just show you the view from the back side of the waterfall. We've got some of the lemon coral sedum there tucked in the corner, kind of a nice ground cover. That's an annual. This is the hydrangea, the mountain hydrangea, the tough stuff. It's done flowering for the season. And a lot of these hydrangeas here they were more July bloomers. So they're the smooth hydrangeas that you're seeing the spent blooms on. A Cleome Senorita. Got some perfect, some Salvia, the Profusion series, the purple. Another Daisy May. This here is an incredible, I think this is incredible blush hydrangea. Another Firelight. Making our way around. Here you can see the Salvia are blooming again. And that's because they were trimmed back. If we wouldn't have trimmed them back, they probably wouldn't be blooming. Got the Weigela Sonic Bloom Pink. This plant has been in color in every video I have done this year. The spring bloom is the most prolific, but this plant is just non-stop, man. It's a go-getter. Another incredible hydrangea with more sun-credible sunflowers. Now this is where we're going to head into our new planting that was just done this week. This is a flower bed that is about 150 foot long by about 30 or so wide. I'm not going to really walk you through it too much because everything is just really green right now. But what we have in here is a mix of annuals, perennials. Actually, let me take that back. No annuals, just perennials and shrubs. We will be putting annuals in it next year. But for now, we just wanted to get the perennials and the shrubs in the ground so they can get established here for the winter. So like I was saying, we're like a zone 5, 6 here, and we'll safely plant until probably mid, maybe even late October, depending on what the weather does. Because here in Michigan, our ground temperatures, they really don't get cold until sometime in December. So even though the tops may not be doing a whole lot, and they might even be like dead looking, the roots are getting established, which is what we want for this time of year. So don't be afraid to do some fall planting. Definitely know your zone and know how late you should safely plant for your area. But here in Michigan, we'll safely go until mid to late October. The grasses you're seeing there blowing in the breeze, we'll talk about those. Those are the desert plain grasses. They're going to get much taller as they mature, but we really wanted to add some of that motion that the grass provides into this garden. We did a couple sweeping, I'm going to call them like little sweeps of evergreens in here. So we have gem box and strong box, so that way we have winter color. We also put some of the hollies in for winter color. So we'll have the beautiful berries, and then also some of the cornus, like Arctic Fire and Arctic Sun, and that will give us a twig color. The orange plants you're seeing there, that's Nephofia, or like the red hot pokers. Those are great color pretty much like all summer into fall. They just kind of keep reblooming all season. We've got some phlox. The white you're seeing there is the luminary phlox, I believe. The yellow you're seeing is Spirea candy corn. And then the reason why I really wanted to head over here is to show you these Caryopteris. So these are shrubs, and these are some of the best fall color shrubs in my opinion. So this is Caryopteris Beyond Midnight. Gorgeous blue flowers, and it really is a great pollinator plant as well. There's like bees all over it. This one here is another Caryopteris, Little Miss Sunshine, with the more yellowy foliage with a little bit lighter lavender flowers. And then we did another Caryopteris Beyond Midnight. On the end, I'm going to show you one other thing that's flowering, and it is the Dicentra, or bleeding heart. And you might think, why in the world do they have bleeding heart out in the full sun? That's just like crazy. Well, it is if you plant the wrong Dicentra in the full sun. But this one here is a Dicentra Pink Diamonds, And this is a fern leaf dicentra that can handle full sun. So we did kind of a little bit of a mass planting here because this is another one of those perennials that blooms virtually all summer long. We'll head back over to the 55-mile-an-hour garden. The reason it is called that is because these cars are flying past. And if cars are flying past, they need something impressive to look at. And certainly this color here is a head turner. This is a mass planting of the Supertunia, Vista bubblegum, Vista paradise, and the lemon coral sedum. The Vista bubblegum is certainly starting to take over everything. Even though the Vistas have similar growth habits, bubblegum is still by far the most prolific in the series. Now we'll walk the back side of the fence and see what we got here. So we did do a lot of annuals on the back side this year because we have shrubs planted, but they're really small, so we wanted to have things with color. So we've kind of done a little bit of a repeat in here. We have the Pentas fireworks grass, Suncredible sunflowers, can't go wrong, Argyratum, Artist Blue, which to me that's like a grandma plant. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend anyone, but that's just what I think of it. But honestly, my mind is changing because that Artist Blue has done amazing in these gardens. And I don't even know why I thought it was a grandma plant because it is awesome. So one of those plants, if you haven't tried it, give it a try. We have a Pugster butterfly bush tucked in. We have a hibiscus purple pillar. So that will get probably about 10, 12 foot tall. We have a Thuya fluffy, and that will give us evergreen color. Quick fire fab hydrangea. So that will get, I don't know, 6, 8 foot tall eventually. A lilac for spring color, bloomerang. A berry poppins, which will get red berries on it for winter interest. Gatsby's pink oak leaf hydrangea. Great fall flowers, or great fall foliage, in addition to beautiful summer flowers. Tucked in there is another berry poppins, another lilac. The blue you're seeing is a Salvia unplugged, another little quick fire fab, another fluffy for winter interest, and a purple pillar hibiscus to give us some really nice height in this area. So those shrubs will continue to grow. Probably will take about 3 to 5 years before they're really mature enough to be, substantial, but you got to start somewhere, right? The longer you wait, the longer it's going to take. So you want to get them planted. All right, we're now to the front side of the waterfall garden, and you can see the salvia is gorgeous. Something we're going to definitely do again next year. I like the height. I like how they sway in the breeze. And typically, with purple being a dark color, you don't think it maybe would stand out, but this really stands out amazing in this bed. We have the front lined with sun patience. Kind of mixed it up a little bit, broke it up with a couple different colors. Got the blue chip butterfly bush in the back there blooming. In the front, or kind of the middle there, those are spirea. Those have recently been trimmed back. We have put a splash of fall color in here by adding some of the mums. So we took out some annuals, but we couldn't take all the annuals out because they're too gorgeous. So we just took out little splashes of annuals and replaced them with mums. That way we look like we're transitioning to fall, even though it is hard to let go of summer. So the waterfall garden is lined in the back with the Suncredible sunflowers, the Golden Dreams Coleus, the sun patience, some mums up front here, some Lobularia, Snow Princess in the middle, and then we kind of repeated on the other side more of the sun patience. We've really been liking the sun patience lately. Supertunias, we have them in certain spots, but the sun patience have kind of other spots. And we've been doing a lot of mass planting with sun patience. because they're so easy. Sun patients don't like fertilizer, so if you're somebody that doesn't fertilize, they may be good for you. They do need water, a lot of water, but fertilizer not so much. So you can see we've kind of repeated a lot of the same things on this side as what we've kind of had placed all about. I think it's nice to do mass planting, but also nice to kind of carry little splashes of color kind of throughout the full garden. That way there's some kind of continuity to it and consistency, and I think it makes it so it's not too overstimulating. We have a lot of colors going on here, but I think because of the carry through that we do, it just adds a lot of consistent look in the garden. Behind these fireworks grass, we have a border of the blue chip butterfly bush. I see some monarchs on it right now. Actually, I see a lot of monarchs on it right now. So there's a path that winds through this garden. So when your people are walking through the garden here, the blue chip are kind of the front border for the path that they're walking through. All right, we're gonna head over to the sign garden now. So things we've learned from the planting at the sign. Definitely, we're gonna cut out and make a little pocket again like we have here on the corner. This is kind of like a clover shape. And so instead of having like rounded, we kind of cut out little pockets on the lobes. This one here has Lantana Grape, and it was off to a slow start. Then we gave it some fertilizer and it really took off. So I don't know if we'll do Lantana Grape again, but once we fertilized it, it looked pretty impressive. This whole bed is lined with sedum lemon coral, and that's just kind of a no-brainer for us. Like the lemon coral always looks fabulous. But one thing we will do next year is probably not alternate the sun patients. So we've got two different sun patients in here. In the beginning it looked okay because they were both small and kind of like the same size. But as the summer went on, you can see that the pink is definitely kind of a little bit bigger habit than the purple. So it's pretty hard to see the purple here in this planting, which is okay because I mean, gardens, like every month, gardens take on a different look. So I mean, in the beginning it looked a little bit more colorful with the two colors, and now it's more solid. So I mean, I guess it's okay because you know your containers aren't going to always look the same, or your landscape's not going to always look the same in all seasons. But I think we'll just stick with one color next year just to create that same consistency so we don't have kind of that up-down look, which is kind of going on with these plants. But overall, we've been really happy with how this turned out this year. And this is at the south side of the property. This is kind of like a butterfly oasis garden that we created. This was new last fall, and this spring we planted a lot of stuff in it. Some things worked, other things didn't, so we're gonna have to kind of do a little tweaking for next year. But you can see along the front here, we have this pretty much just packed full of annuals. So when people drive in, like, you always have that consistent color. There are some perennials that are tucked in that are mostly more spring color, because before we can put the annuals out, hopefully the perennials will give a little bit of spring color. So we'll see how this garden works next year. It'll be interesting to see. We planted a lot of shrubs in here as well. The yellow is the candy corn spirea. Then we have some firelight tidbit. You can probably see the little bit of bloom there. Behind those are some daylilies going bananas, and I think storm shelter. So somebody had said to me, Heidi, can you just grow petunias and not fertilize them? That way we know what they look like. Well, this is a great example of what petunias look like when they're not fertilized. They look like this. Disgusting. So basically there's like hardly not a leaf on these plants. There's flowers. From a distance, they look probably pretty okay. But when you get up close to them, they are the most grossest looking plants ever. And the reason is because we couldn't reach the fertilizer out to this bed. Next year we'll have to do a better job of getting these fertilized so that they actually look good. I'm going to cut through here and see. Let's see what else we got blooming. Some more Coreopteris in here. These are a little bit past their prime. There's also a water issue up here as well. So a lot of these plants are kind of like dry looking. Even though the weird thing is like the soil is not dry. So we have to do a little soil checking too to see like what might be going on. Because our butterfly bush, they all look like they're really dry. As well as there's some lilacs down there that look dry. So this garden it's a work in progress. And it's also a puzzler, so we'll see what's going on with it next year. Because this is a butterfly garden, we do have a lot of Escalapius in here. This one here is Escalapius hairy balls, and you can see there's a little seed pod starting there. And then this is actually what the seed pod looks like when it gets mature. And then the flowers are really kind of a pretty dangling white flower. It's really a unique plant, unique look. There's the Atlas rose, a proudberry bush. This is one of those underutilized shrubs as well. And again, everything in here is really young, so these plants are all going to get bigger. But you can see the beautiful berries there. We have some daylilies tucked on the back side, like I was mentioning earlier. A bunch of butterfly bush. So once we get whatever's going on in here figured out, that's going to be a huge, massive, beautiful butterfly bush color. Those are all the Pugster butterfly bush. This is a hardy hibiscus, our beautiful red. Some fireworks grass. And then around this river birch, we did a swoop of the, let's see, the gem box or strong box. Got to look at the tags. I'm cheating here. Strong box. So these are going to be a kind of a evergreen semicircle that's going to go around this river birch. So that will be pretty cool looking, I think. Take a look at some of the annuals. We got the verbena meteor showers. That's another one of those you can't go wrong plants, especially if you're looking to attract the butterflies in the garden. Verbena meteor showers is a must. And then let's see, we'll check out, oh yeah, here's a new hydrangea we just planted. This is the little quickfire, and that one was gorgeous too. It's a little past its prime, but really nice color on a little quickfire. Some more of the fireworks grass, sedum lemon coral, and then we're going to actually head over there by the Bobo to end. As you can see, we're doing a little bit of construction here on the front of the greenhouse. We're giving it a facelift. We're going to be getting rid of a lot of that wood. That way we can let a lot more light in. We've had issues with it being kind of, well, not much airflow, so it gets hot on that side of the garden center. But also with all that wood, there's just not light that gets in there. So it's pretty hard for us to grow plants on that side or at the front of the store. So we're going to get rid of the wood, get some nice big windows or garage doors in there. That way we can let some more airflow, more sunlight in, and just give us an updated look. So I'll fill you in on the progress of that as we continue to get that change done. But where we're going to end here is in the middle of the parking lot, which sounds weird, but the Bobo hydrangeas. So I've done video after video on these, pictures after pictures, and even now that it's the end of the summer and these Bobo are well past their prime, they still look so nice. Very compact, looks great with the verbena meteor showers and the Supertunia mini Vista hot pink. So if you're looking for just, you know, a perfect pairing, if you have just a little spot that you're like, you know, what can I do that I don't need a lot but will give a lot of impact, this is a great trio you can do. Plant a Bobo in the middle of, let's say, a semicircle or even a circle, and then just kind of splash a few of the Supertunia Mini Vista hot pink and some meteor showers, and that will give you a great look. Just 3 colors, but vibrant splash of color that will last from early summer well into the fall. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.